Hi team, Matty231 here with another video today on the E55 AMG, the W211 that we've got. I've got my beanie on, it's a bit cold here, autumn time in New Zealand. Lovely day though, real nice blue sky this morning. But yeah, we've got the 211 E55, and what we're doing today is the air conditioning blower motor. So you'll find that your 211, or in my case my 211 and my 221 S600, both have, when it's quite warm, the air conditioning will chirp. And it's because of the blower motor, the bearings in there, I believe, get a bit dry and seized up. So I think as they spin, they warm up maybe, and they slightly expand, and they start to just sort of squeak as they spin. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna simply drop those out today and lubricate it up and put it back in and see how she goes. Now, I don't have, unfortunately, a recording of that playing up and making that sound. I never did it. I should have recorded it when it was happening. So we're just gonna assume you know what the sound is that I'm talking about here. But in general, you should just do it anyway. If anything, it's preventative maintenance to give your air conditioning blower motor a little bit of lubrication. So what we're gonna use for this job, a few things that we will need. I've got like a bit of synthetic non-drip lubricant here. So any sort of lubricant's fine. In New Zealand here, obviously, we've got CRC, but you might have other brands depending on where you are. What else do we need? We need, from the toolbox, nothing too fancy for this job. From memory, we just need our Torx screwdrivers. I believe it would be something like this one, which is a T30, is it? No, T25. But to be honest, like, if you've got a bunch of them, just bring all of them. It's usually a bit of a guessing game, to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and give you the exact numbers, but if you've got a few Torx screwdrivers, or even that works as well, is I've got some of these here, and you can probably go and buy these. Is even a set like this. This is a hex. Here we go. Yeah, same thing. Even these are quite handy. Or if you want to go really hairy hard out, you can use a just a little electronic ratchet and some bits. But I think that's a bit over the top here. Like, you could go and chuck a Milwaukee ratchet on it, or Makita, or whatever brand you got, and use that. But look, we're dealing with little soft screws that are going into plastic. We don't want to break anything, so let's just use screwdrivers today. And yeah. What I'll also suggest first off, before you do anything, is just maybe pull your front seat out. I say your front seat. Too early this morning. Your floor mat, sorry. Your floor mat. Pull that out. Make enough room. And just give it a vac as well. It's a good time to get in there and clean everything up under the passenger side. Now, my car's right-hand drive. Your car's probably left-hand drive. So it doesn't matter though. It's all the same thing at the end of the day. So let's pull her out into the middle here. I might spin the car around and we'll get to it. So guys, pulled the car out, shifted the seat back a little bit, pulled the floor mat out. What we're gonna do is, and I recommend it, I will admit I don't do it a lot, but it's good to disconnect your battery. So you pull your rear out. Depends on what sort of setup you've got here. These Japanese import Mercedes didn't really have spare tires. We have these random like filler things that fill the tire with stuff. So unhook your battery and do that via unbolting the little negative terminal and putting a little cloth underneath it so it doesn't short out or touch anything. And while we're in there, we'll actually test our battery, because it is winter time, and as we know, most of us I'm sure know, oh shit, dropping everything, most of us all know. Oh, there he is. There he is. As most of us know, batteries don't like the winter, they don't like the cold. So we'll test our battery quickly at the same time. We'll unplug it first though. So I need that, I need my glove, and I need my, I probably could just use a little wrench to be honest, but I might just grab, I think it's a 10mm from memory, and thankfully I haven't lost my 10mm yet. The old myth goes you lose your 10mm, you never find it again. You might even be able to just do it like that, or bring the ratchet just in case. Cool, so we'll unhook that. Hopefully it's a 10mm, otherwise I've failed you all. Yeah, I'm right for once, that's good. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Cool, that's enough. Get your cloth. You can touch it, it's not going to hurt you. Lift it off, put it there. And what we'll do is we'll get our battery tester. Now my battery tester, guys, is just one off AliExpress. I don't usually like buying stuff from China because I'm scared it's going to be bad quality, but actually a lot of it is pretty decent. Cool, so we'll go on my little thing here to, damn it. Take two. It's a regular battery, it's not an AGM or anything. It's a DIN 85Z. It's 780 cca, which is actually a bit lower than my other cars. It's going to test it. It's saying it's good, but good recharge, 88% health. Okay, well that's actually good because I thought it wasn't that good, so that's nice to see. Because I've actually had to replace a good 2 batteries in the last like 3 or 4 months, both in the other 55s, and they're not cheap, so that's good. What I'll do though is I might plug the charger, the trickle charger, onto it. I've got a C-Tech charger, so we might just plug that onto this battery once we've done the job here and let it to sit for a few hours. Moving on. Cool. So we'll take our Torx. This one's a T15. We'll start with that. I might be right. There's usually 3 bolts. No, we'll take our T25. There's usually 3 bolts along the top ridge here. So we've got 1, 2, and it's 2. It's not 3. Was there another one here? No, it's just 2. Okay, sorry, I'm thinking of my S-Class. We've just got 2 simple bolts there to unscrew and pull out. And we've got our funky Japanese Mercedes-Benz, I think, traffic thingy that we won't use or never have used, but we could actually pull that out, to be honest, because it does get in the way. Cool, so we'll unscrew those gently. Usually I'll just set aside bolts in a little tray, just so I don't lose them, but because it's literally just a couple of bolts here and I believe a handful on the actual blower motor, we'll be alright. So what we want to do is we want to just gently pull this down, and what we'll do is bring it halfway down, don't fully pull it out yet, pinch and pull the little harness here, take that out, and then this should slide down nice and easily like that, perfect. And then you'll be able to pull this out, but because this has a stinking Japanese toll road plug-in thingy on it, we might pull this out, guys, and just see if this, if I can just disconnect it and just leave it out, or whether the car's like supposed to have it in there and it's going to throw a spaz. Hopefully not. Okay team, now what we're going to do is, you don't probably have to, but I just do it to give me more space. You can peel back the carpet here, and just be careful, you just do it gently so you don't break anything. Peel it back like this. What year was this? March 2004, sorry. So she's a few years old now. But what we've got here is, to be honest, this is probably related. This probably is like being added in here aftermarket. It's probably part of the traffic system. on my S-Class, which is a New Zealand new car. It's just one big foam piece. But anyway, what we'll do is we want to get access to the blower motor, which is in here. Look, yeah, there we go. Sorry. Now, just to clarify for you guys, you might have a pre-facelift W211 and they have charcoal filters in here. So these are the actual charcoal filters, and you slide these brackets. I believe you push them back towards or forward, either way, and you can pull the charcoal filters out, and then you've got a separate filter under the hood right in here, and that's the cabin air filter. These are not the cabin air filters, these are the charcoal filters. And saying that, yeah, the facelifted cars I don't think had them, so just so you know anyway. But yeah, there's basically 4 screws. I recall there's 4 screws in here. Can we see up in there? Yeah, good. So we'll undo those 4, and then we can drop down the cover, and then we should be able to get to the blower motor itself and pull that sucker out. Cool, so we're just pulling these screws out, these little guys here. It's a, I think it's a T20 Torx screwdriver. Just on the job learning team, I've dropped a screw down here that you can probably see on my camera. There it is. So maybe a good idea when you pull this carpet back is to maybe put like a bit of a microfiber on there. Now, luckily I've got a magnet thingy, so I can recover my screws very easily. But if you don't have one of those, that could be a bit tricky to get out. So just make sure you've got one of those on hand. Cool, so all our 4 screws are out and not lost into the abyss of the wiring harness universe. So all we do now is we just drop, well, yeah, that. Don't even have to use your hands. Drop that out. Now, just so you guys can see, the wiring harness sits in this way, and on the side closest to the firewall is a little clip. Just push it down, take your gloves off and push it down and pull it out gently. So we'll just put that up there for now, out of the way. Yeah, you're going to pop out again, aren't you? Cool, there we go, he's gone. And there's a bit of a mess of everything happening in there. Now, you don't have to take out, apparently, you don't unbolt this bolt here. You don't do that yet. This whole piece just comes out as one via the 1, 2, 3 and 4 screws again. So those corner screws on the edges, you can see, we'll drop those and then we'll pull the assembly out. Right team, so we've dropped the blower motor out here. There's just a void. And I used my ratchet in the end there just to make it quicker. But definitely you can screw them by hand, obviously, there's no issues with that. And we've got the motor out, so let's grab her and put it on the bench. Just make sure you don't lie any other way than probably on its top like that. Get all my junk out of the way. I still don't have a proper desk, a proper bench or anything to work on yet. If you don't know, this is all a sort of new setup for me recently. Very grateful to have a hoist. So we're just doing little baby steps. So we'll just grab our tools again. We'll grab our just our screwdrivers really. I'll bring my ratchet, but we'll bring our screwdrivers, and obviously we need our synthetic lube and the tripod for the camera. Cool, so it's not bad really, that doesn't make too much noise at all. So we'll pick up the back end. Where's our LED? So straight away you can see there's a bearing right there. So what we'll do is probably get like I've got a collection of all my old toothbrushes, so just if you've got a toothbrush lying around, just keep them on hand, and what we'll do is we'll just give it a bit of a clean up, If you've got compressed air, which I do luckily have, even that's a good way to go for a start, and you'll find that blowing out. We'll do that, We'll go and put some compressed air through this and blow it out through these little ports here. You'll find like a big puff of black smoke comes out from obviously where the brushes, which are here, slowly wear away. Now, if your brushes are gone, you're toast. You're going to have to buy a new blower motor anyway. But if we can get away with just lubricating this here, and I imagine as well there'll be one in this cone up the top. Although in saying that, that will be part of the... No, the other bearings probably... The other bearing for this motor will be likely in that metal casing at the top there. Yes, there'll be one there, and there'll be our bottom one where the shaft goes. So, yeah, we'll just blow some compressed air through it. Team, I think that's enough for now. So if we just get our multi-lube gel, let's try. I think it might be easier with the light off. What I'm going to do is poke the nozzle right at the center shaft, so I spray onto the shaft, and then it'll drizzle down onto the bearing itself. And I can just see it drizzling down, so that's good. That's what we want. Then I'll spin it up on the... Oh, don't do that. That was a screw up on my part. Then we'll spray it into the housing here, like that. Holding it upside down, I'll just sort of spin that with my hand a little bit. Let it dissolve into the bearing there. Spray a bit more. And then what we'll do is maybe just clear some of that excess up. That's better. I must admit, actually, that sounds like a lot quieter now. It was already actually very quiet, but now you can barely hear it. You might be able to hear it on the camera. I might go back and listen to the video just before and just see if it sounds any different, but it sounds different just straight away. Do it again in that top bearing. You're probably not going to be able to do this, guys, without a nozzle on the end like I've got, so make sure you've got one of those. It's not wanting to go on the top now, which is beauty. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Cool. So we've blown the dust out where the brushes were. We've lubricated the top and the bottom bearing. We've put some electrical contact cleaner in the top here and blown it out with air. Probably not necessary, but we'll do it anyway. And our bearings are all lubed up. So I think, team, we're pretty much good to go to put it back in now. That lubricant's definitely falling going into the bearing because it's disappearing off the top here, so that's good. We don't want to overdo it though. Cool, so we've got our motor ready to go back in the 211. So yeah, that's way better. Let's go and install it in reverse order. So team, the motor goes in this way, so this part should be facing the center shaft. So on obviously a left-hand drive vehicle, it'll be probably like that way, but on my car it's this way. Pop it up, put all 4 screws gently in, and then tighten them together in sort of synchronization. Don't do one up fully and then do the other one up. You want it to seal properly. We'll put this back together now. Cool, motor's back in place nicely. Now our little cap here goes this way. Am I right? Is it that way? It is that way, isn't it? And it goes in there, and you should see your harness popping up the top there. And then you can just gently screw in the last 4 screws to hold this assembly back in place. And then what we do is we can fold our carpet back out, put our plastic cover back under here, and do our 2 screws up, and remember to connect our light. So let's do that first. One thing, guys, to check before you put everything away is this. If you don't know what this is already, it controls how your glove box opens. So if you look at my glove box, it opens pretty nicely. It doesn't fall. Some of them open and they just go bleh. This one gently comes out. And that's because sometimes, see the little hoop right there? When it opens and closes, it controls. It pulls a spring in. You can see it there. It pulls a spring in and lowers it slowly. And sometimes the hoop can come off. So if it comes off, then it basically just flies down. Now these can break, so you can replace it. But yeah, just check yours is working. And if it's not, hopefully you can fix it. Cool, so I've done that. There's our screws, we'll grab those. Close this up. Tuck that in nicely there. And then we'll grab our cover up here. Let's swing it back around this way. Now we want to make sure we connect our harness for the light, which is here. So we bring it up in here a little bit. I'm making this look a lot harder than it actually is. Bring our harness through. It's never easy one-handed doing this sort of stuff. Now team, one thing you need to do before you put the bottom cover back in that I nearly forgot was make sure you've plugged your harness back in and threaded it through the little gaps. So make sure that is plugged back in. I forgot to point that out because I nearly missed it myself. Cool. Right guys, so now everything's back together. I'm going to leave the boot open because I'm going to put it on trickle charge. But if we turn the car on now, everything wakes up, the air conditioning turns on automatically and it's blowing, so I guess that's good. You don't have to push anything, it's running. But just toggle the... Yeah, that's good. As long as the fan's changing speeds and stuff, that's the main thing. Cool. Oh, that's it guys. That's just a quick review, quick overhaul of your blower motor. If it's still not working, you'll probably have to replace it. But before you buy a brand new BEHR one, go to maybe a wrecker and get one off another 211 first and try it, because it'll most likely be fine. They're pretty tough blower motors. Oh, thanks for the video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and like and subscribe, and let us know what else you'd like to see done on the E55 or any of the other cars we have here on the channel. Cheers.